Hello everybody and welcome to Mexico. I have been living here for the past 3.5 months, so I have a good understanding of how much things cost here and how much it costs to live. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how much groceries cost, how much you need to pay for an apartment, how much it costs to go out and eat at the restaurant, and many more things. So let's go. So yesterday I went to the grocery store, so now I'm going to explain how much different things cost. Alright, so here I have my receipt. Now we're gonna go through how much I needed to pay for all of this stuff. So we're gonna start out with the rice that I paid 30 pesos for. 1 kilo of rice, that's about 2 pounds. 30 pesos, that's $1.50. And then we have tuna, about 5 cans of tuna for 60 pesos, so that's $3 for a total of 5 cans of tuna. And then we have an energy drink, 10 pesos, that's 50 cents. We have onion, I paid 20 pesos for 3 really big onions, that's $1, $1. Then we get to the habanero, about 5 habaneros for 3 pesos, that's 15 cents. And about 1 bell pepper for 10 pesos, that's 50 cents. About beans, 4 cans of beans, really good beans, for a total of 40 pesos, so 10 pesos per beans. That's $2 for 4 cans. And then we have frozen veggies, 20 pesos per bag. That's $1 per frozen veggies, about 3 of these, so that's $3. And then about 6 limes for 10 pesos, that's 50 cents. About meat, let's see how much, half a kilo for 50 pesos, that's $2.50. Pretty good amount of meat actually. About oranges, 25 pesos for 4 oranges. That's like $1.25. And then about 5 bags of pasta for 50 pesos. 10 pesos each, so that's $2.50. Pretty good price actually, really good. And then we have bananas. About how many bananas did I buy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I ate one yesterday. 7 bananas for 20 pesos, that's $1. About 2 liters of milk, so half a gallon, for 20 pesos. Alright, and then I bought 1.25 liters of Coke. I actually drank almost all of it since yesterday. But that cost me 20 pesos, so $1. I bought ramen noodles, 5 packages, 5 pesos each, so that's 25 pesos. That's $1.25. And then I bought tomatoes for 25 pesos. 5 tomatoes, that's also $1.25. About tortillas for 15 pesos, that's, I don't know how much that is, that's peso, 1 something peso, or I mean dollar. That's it. So for all of this I paid only 500 Mexican pesos, that's $25 US. For so much food, it's gonna last me probably 10 days. So that means that my monthly cost of groceries will be $75 US. Well, now we come to apartments. How much do we have to pay for an apartment? I have been living in a couple of different places, and I have mostly used Airbnb, which is really cheap, especially if you look for 1 full month. You always get almost 50% discount if you book 1 full month through Airbnb. But also, of course, it depends on where you are. If you are close to the beach, of course, it's gonna be much more expensive than if you are in a nicer area. But let's look at some prices. What I also have learned is that if you are able to find a local real estate agent or somebody to rent from in the places where you are in Mexico, it's gonna be much cheaper. Much cheaper than Airbnb, even though Airbnb is already really cheap. So here we have Mexico, located just beneath the United States. These are the most famous areas here on the Yucatan Peninsula by the coast, because you have the Caribbean Sea here, out next to Cuba and Jamaica, the Bahamas. So let's look at some prices here in this area. So we have some really famous tourist areas here, where a lot of people from not only the US, Canada, but also Europe go to stay for the winter, because the weather is shit, for example in Sweden, northern part of Europe, so people come here. So let's look at some famous areas to live. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, Tulum. Cancun, Mexico. So we're gonna look for 1 month, because then you also get the discount if you look for 1 month. This is actually a really good trick. June 1st to July 1st, Cancun. So you can also choose if you want the entire place to yourself or just a private room in somebody's house, for example, or shared room or not. We're gonna look at entire place. So here we have some places pretty close to the beach. Here we have something $600 per month, 660. Looks pretty nice. Your own apartment with the ocean view. Entire apartment. You get your own apartment, $234, and it's pretty good location. So here, that one is $234. Yeah, I guess a bit. It's all right. Your own little apartment. Well, let's find something a little bit better. $450. Oh, really nice place. Balcony, nice kitchen. Look at this, $400 per month for this one. What is this? So cheap. Very nice. Much cheaper there than here. You get a nice apartment for around $400 per month. Like a really nice 1-2-bedroom apartment. Look at this one, for example. This is pretty nice. Alright, let's look at another really popular tourist place, Tulum. Tulum is a bit more expensive, but still you can find an apartment for, like a nice apartment, around $300-500 US. Here we have something $300-400. Pretty nice little apartment. You can get your own apartment for like $400. You will get a decent size, pretty nice apartment. Also keep in mind that these are the tourist places, really popular and nice places. If you stay in more rural areas, you can get a house all even for around $400-500. So now let's look at an area in the middle of the country instead, where it's cheaper. So now we're gonna look at a small town in the middle of the country that I actually went to a few months ago, called Motul. It's a typical small town in Mexico with 20,000 people. Here we have the Motul sign. Every town in Mexico has a sign with colorful letters. So here now you get a studio apartment for $200 per month, about half price. And it's also pretty nice, but the thing is it's probably boring to live there, you know, because there's no beach. But it's still, you can still get a pretty modern apartment. A little decent apartment with a bed and I guess maybe a small kitchen. $200 per month. Actually this place is only like 30 minutes from the beach. But still, it's not a very popular place. But From this we can draw a conclusion and see that it's possible to live really nice, comfortably for $300-400 per month in Mexico, which is a great thing to know. And I was speaking about the groceries. If you avoid going out to restaurants and just make your own food, you can live in Mexico for around $500 per month, I would say. But for me, I prefer to make my own food. I don't really even like going to restaurants because that's how you get fat. That's how people get fat. Because the food at restaurants, they always put so much extra fat, salt and sugar in it for it to taste good, you know? Food that has fat, salt and sugar tastes really good. But it also makes you fat really, really quick. But for most people enjoy going to restaurants. So let's look at how much food costs at restaurants. I've been to a few restaurants when I was in Isla Mujeres and Cancun and some other places. So what I've learned is that food will cost you anywhere between 50 to 200 pesos. So that's between $2.50 to $10 and you get a really, really good meal. A beer would cost you like 30 pesos, $1.50 or so, which is really cheap, you know, for people that like to drink beer. You can just go to the bar and drink beer and still not have to pay so much. But a good thing about this also that now, when working online becomes more and more popular, if you have a job, for example, in the US, Canada, Europe, or Australia, Singapore, all these places where you can work and make really good money, and then you live, for example, here in Mexico, now you're going to be able to save much more money than what you would be able to do if you live at home. So that's even better. If you can work from your laptop, why not go to Mexico? In my experience, living in Mexico is about the same as Southeast Asia, about the same prices, I think, like Thailand, Philippines, Bali, Vietnam. It's also really, really cheap to live there. That's why, for example, now the island of Bali is super crowded and super overpopulated because people have noticed that it's really, really cheap to live there and it's really nice. I'm gonna make some food now and show you what you can make out of this stuff that I bought. The pasta is boiling. We have the onion frying. Now we're gonna put in 1/3 of the meat. And then 1/4 of a habanero, not too much, because then it will be very, very spicy. And half a lime. And then the frozen veggies. I made a really, really good meal. I'm very satisfied with my meal. Nom, nom, nom. I really like making pasta dishes like this. It's really cheap to make, it tastes good, and it's also healthy. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching.